Daniel Reyes was driving home from a late meeting when he noticed her, a woman struggling alone on the sidewalk outside a small furniture rental store, wrestling a queen-sized mattress against the evening wind, her arms trembling with the effort of keeping it upright. He slowed his car instinctively, watching for a moment before pulling over. Something about her determined, quiet persistence struck him immediately, the way she refused to set the mattress down despite the obvious strain, glancing anxiously toward the darkening sky as though racing an approaching storm. Daniel stepped out of his car, approaching carefully. "Excuse me," he called gently. "It looks like you could use a hand." The woman turned, startled, her grip on the mattress faltering slightly before she steadied it again. "I'm okay," she said quickly, though her voice betrayed the exhaustion beneath her words. "I've got it, I don't doubt that," Daniel said, offering a small, reassuring smile. "But it might go faster with two people, especially before that storm rolls in." She hesitated, clearly weighing pride against practicality, before finally nodding. "All right, thank you." Together, they maneuvered the mattress carefully, Daniel taking the heavier end without being asked. As they worked, he learned her name was Vivian, and that she was moving the mattress several blocks over, toward a modest apartment complex near the edge of downtown. "You're doing this alone?" Daniel asked, genuinely curious. "I don't have much choice," Vivian said, a note of quiet resignation in her voice. "My ex was supposed to help today, but plans changed. Again, I couldn't wait any longer. My daughter needs an actual bed tonight, not another night on the floor." Something in her words settled uncomfortably in Daniel's chest, memories stirring from a distant, difficult period in his own life. "How old is she?" 6, Vivian said. "She's staying with my sister for the evening while I get everything set up." They continued walking, the mattress heavy but manageable between them, until finally reaching Vivian's building, a modest but well-kept apartment complex tucked quietly along a side street. As they carried the mattress up two narrow flights of stairs, Daniel noticed the sparse but carefully organized apartment beyond the open door, boxes neatly labeled, a few children's drawings taped carefully to the refrigerator, evidence of a life being rebuilt with quiet determination despite obvious hardship. Once the mattress was finally settled properly in the small bedroom, Vivian exhaled deeply, wiping sweat from her forehead. "Thank you," she said sincerely. "I don't know how I would have managed that alone." "Happy to help," Daniel said simply. Then, glancing briefly around the apartment, he hesitated before continuing. "Can I ask what happened? If you don't mind me asking." Vivian considered the question for a moment, then answered honestly. "Divorce, about 8 months ago. It's been a difficult adjustment, financially and otherwise. I work as a receptionist at a medical office nearby, steady, but it barely covers rent and daycare some months." Daniel nodded slowly, understanding more than he initially let on. "That sounds incredibly difficult." "It is," Vivian admitted. "But we're managing." Slowly. As they talked further, Daniel found himself genuinely impressed by her quiet resilience, the careful, determined way she spoke about rebuilding her life piece by piece, despite obvious exhaustion. Something about her situation, the mattress on the floor, the careful budgeting, the quiet insistence on managing alone, reminded him uncomfortably of his own mother decades earlier, raising him and his sister largely on her own after his father left, carrying burdens no child should ever fully witness, yet somehow shielding him from most of it anyway. Before leaving, Daniel hesitated near the doorway. "This might feel unexpected," he said carefully, "but I'd like to help further, if you're open to it. Not charity, necessarily, more an opportunity." Vivian studied him warily. "What kind of opportunity?" "I own Reyes Holdings," Daniel admitted. "We have an opening in our downtown office, administrative coordination, steady hours, competitive pay, full benefits, including daycare assistance. Given what I've seen tonight, I think you'd be an excellent fit." Vivian blinked, clearly caught off guard by the revelation. "You're that Daniel Reyes?" "Just someone who happened to be driving by tonight," Daniel said simply. "The company part doesn't change why I stopped to help." Vivian considered this carefully, cautious optimism slowly replacing her initial surprise. "I don't want anyone thinking I got a job just because you helped me carry a mattress." "You won't," Daniel assured her. "If you're interested, you'll interview like anyone else. I'm simply making sure you know the opportunity exists." After a long moment, Vivian nodded slowly. "All right, I'd like that." Daniel handed her a business card before finally heading back toward his car, the storm clouds overhead finally beginning to release a light, steady rain. As he drove away, he found himself thinking about his own mother again, the quiet, unseen sacrifices she'd made, the nights she'd gone without so he and his sister could have what they needed, sacrifices he hadn't fully appreciated until much later in life. Weeks later, Vivian officially joined Reyes Holdings, quickly proving herself a valuable, dependable member of the administrative team. Her daughter, now settled comfortably into her new bedroom, thrived in the stability that steady work and consistent scheduling provided. Months after that, during a quiet company gathering, Vivian approached Daniel once more, her daughter cheerfully playing nearby with other children from the office. "I still think about that night," she admitted. "The mattress, the rain, everything. It felt like the lowest point I'd hit since the divorce." "Sometimes the lowest points are exactly where things start turning around," Daniel said thoughtfully. Vivian smiled, watching her daughter laugh freely nearby. "I think you're right." As Daniel watched the quiet, ordinary happiness unfolding around him, families rebuilding, children playing, people slowly finding stability after difficult chapters, he felt a familiar, grounding sense of purpose settle over him, the same quiet satisfaction he imagined his own mother must have felt during the rare, hard-won moments when everything finally seemed to be falling gently into place. That evening, driving home once more, Daniel found himself reflecting on how easily an ordinary moment, a woman struggling alone with a mattress on a rainy sidewalk, could become something quietly transformative, not just for her, but for himself as well, a reminder that success, at its truest, was never just about what you built, but about who you helped carry the weight along the way.